Going on, man? This is YB Magazine Radio. We are here. We are it's Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. So I'm here with someone very, very, very special. All right. Make sure you guys follow her. Make sure you guys support her. I'm here with President. Official. I got a President Ella. All right, not Trump. Ella. All right. Let's get this straight. So how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm really happy to have you here. I actually seen you at this studio, and I was just like, I gotta reach out to her, man, and see what's going on. And I've seen your platform, so I think everything is great, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming here. So you originally are from Central Falls, Rhode Island, but you graduated from
Loyola, Maryland. Shout out, go Hounds.
And Baltimore in 2010, right? So what did you major in? What was it
My major is advertising, and my minor is writing.
All right. You actually, what you have a bachelor?
I do.
All right. So that's really good.
It's sitting on my side table right now.
All right.
That's where it lives.
I mean, that's good. I mean, you always believed in education.
I do, and more than me, my mother. The only way I could do anything is if I said it had something to do with school. If it was for school, I was all set. If I need new clothes, it had to be for school. There's a school dance, so I need clothes. School's coming up, I need new sneakers. If it was for school, it's cool. But if it's for me, that's not.
It sounds good though. It sounds like she made a good platform.
She
she's
sure
like,
did.
okay, wait, you going to school?
Yeah.
Like that's good.
So after graduating, you founded an online magazine.
I did. Yes.
WeWannaDo.com. Can you tell us about the magazine and what was your target audience and what made you decide you wanted to do that?
Absolutely. So when I graduated from school, I actually did not have a job, first and foremost, right? So, and I'm a writer, and the reason I minored in writing is because I'm not really fancy at people telling me what to write about.
Okay.
So I actually started off with a blog, and it was called Ella Thought, and Ella being her in Spanish. I'm a Hispanic woman, so that was just the first part of it. And also me thinking after going to school all these years and not having a job and being back in my mother's basement, trying to figure out who I was and what my purpose was in the world. And as I break down into it, I've always been really politically involved. Yeah. There comes the president. Yeah. So the first thing I am after being human is honestly, it's a human, and then what people see is I'm black, and then I'm a woman. These are just the things, I'm Hispanic in the middle of that, but you can't really see it too much. So that's really where I started, and it's called Ella Thought because it was just my thoughts. So usually when I end my pieces, it's just my thoughts, just what I'm feeling at the time, and that's my whole quote. I'm a big Jay-Z fan.
Okay, all right.
So it's just a way to get my thoughts out there because I felt like I was alone in the world, but I knew that I wasn't alone. Yeah. So I felt like if I could share my thoughts and be honest and truthful, then I could speak not for people, but have a voice that somebody might relate to out there. And even if they didn't, at least I put it out there. So then it turned into an online magazine. I have my cousin who's a fitness, she was a fitness model, but she's really into health. She does the health section when she feels like it. Okay. That's why we do what we want to do. My girlfriend from college, she was in fashion shows with me. I directed our fashion show, so she does the beauty and makeup section when she wants to. Then I have another friend who was my roommate in college during the summer, and she does the fashion section. So really, there's no schedules, no limits, no gimmicks. That's really where we go for it. And I wanted something that had longevity, that when you felt like it, you could post a blog. And if you didn't, you didn't. And that's just what it is. It's just what we want to do. I write when I feel like it, whatever's in my heart.
Yeah. And even more, there was your target audience, there was an actual thing that you was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
You were speaking to
women.
Yeah.
And myself, really, I was speaking to myself. So, so in anything you see in me that you relate to, I was speaking to myself. Sometimes we need to speak to ourselves first. We speak to other people. Really, you speak to God first. Yeah. But God is oneself. So I needed somewhere to put my thoughts out there, especially in the moves that I was making. Sometimes I read back and I'd be like, I already been through this. I already told myself what to do. But sometimes it has to sit there to say, you already told yourself. Didn't you already make this decision? So That's what it was.
Yeah, sometimes we don't want to listen to ourselves. And I feel you because I wrote a relationship book, and like I had an issue, and then I went back to the book, and I was like, I know this already.
Right,
I wrote it in the book. Like, why,
you know better.
Like, I know the answer.
Yeah.
So I completely understand, and it's also good to, I'm a writer too by heart, and I love writing. So and that's where the magazine idea came from. That's part of it, and so I completely understand, and it feels good to put your thoughts on paper, like to write it down any way you can. I just haven't had people read my stuff like you have, like actually put it out there to the world.
It's a little difficult. It's a little difficult. Yeah, you gotta like ignore it. Comments come through. That I wasn't asking for no comments. I was just telling you how I felt. That's it.
People always have something.
They do.
Like, instead of just learning from it, like understanding that that's your life experience.
Right,
so
I'm just sharing.
Yeah, you're sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. What age did you actually begin writing?
I like to tell people honestly. All right, now that I'm being honest, and I have to, as an artist, my voice has to be as truthful as my writing. I started writing when I was about 5 years old, because my mother went away for a little bit for trying to put food on our tables. So I wrote a lot of letters to her, and my brother lived in upstate, and my sister, she also lived upstate. My brother was in Buffalo, and my sister was in Newburgh, and my mother was in Danbury. So I wrote a lot of letters. So those were the first things that I was writing.
You started expressing yourself.
Yeah, I have a lot of diaries. My mom still has all the letters I wrote her. I have all the ones I wrote. I would write, because she would write back to me, Bill, you haven't written. I had nothing to write about. I'm 5 years old. I went to school today, and then we watched 90210. I remember I was writing about that. I was like, I watched 90210 today, and this happened. I would tell her what happened, like on the TV shows. That's when I started writing. My first rhymes, so we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I was in 8th grade, and I didn't have the voice for it yet. So it was with all the boys. You know the boys, they sit in the cafeteria and they go back and forth, but I'm not a freestyler either.
Right.
So I'm addicted to my pen. So we would do in the middle of classes, we would pass the notes back and forth. So we would battle on paper.
Yeah.
So we would just battle on paper, and I would battle them on paper during class.
I love that you smiling about it. It was like good
It was
times.
fun.
Like,
It was
yeah,
fun.
it was fun, man. That's great. And also, you mentioned, like, what made you fall in love with like the music? Like, who inspired you? I know you mentioned Jay-Z already, but like, who was your inspiration?
He's really when it comes to music, I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And my mother was always very, very passionate about me going to school, because I needed to have a job after all of this. So I could have tried to go to school to be an artist, but that only works out. But so that's a very difficult field,
Yeah.
And then also be a writer. There's only but so many writers who actually make a living off of writing and writing what they want. I'd have to write a Harry Potter book and keep them coming, and that's a lot of work. It actually, those people are a lot older by the time we actually know them. That they've worked on this a long time. So that's why I went into advertising, because I needed to find a way to make money off of something, and then to make money off of myself. And I think that Jay-Z has been the most lucrative in being able to do this music thing and make money off of it.
So many different avenues.
Right. And for me,
still doing it.
right, when it came to just rhyming, when I moved to New York, I was by myself and I didn't know anybody. I'm not from here. I have cousins here and everything, but I'm very much a loner. So, it's putting the music on and being, I could actually do this. And I remember I used to do like web chat things, and I had recorded something and put it up on YouTube, and I didn't know that people could see it, because when you post stuff on YouTube, sometimes it tells people, and you don't even know.
Oh yes,
so
right.
I had a friend who he found it, and he like put it in the chat group, and he was like, I'm gonna just throw it in there, and he was like, just see what people say. And I remember this one girl, he was like, tell your real opinions, and this one girl was like, if you really dedicated to yourself to it, you'd be nice. And I said, well, shit.
Okay. Thanks for the love.
That was it. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Well, that goes on to my next question. When did you start rhyming? And when was your first performance? Things like that.
Probably like 2 years after I got here. So that's like 2012. And I was terrible. I was good. Like the rhymes were good, but I couldn't memorize anything.
Okay. Oh.
And actually, I started out being a poet,
Okay.
and so I sort of did slam poetry. So you gotta memorize the 3 minutes of it. But it took me so long
Yeah,
to
I had that same
it's
problem when I was writing.
it's tough to memorize, especially when you gotta
Yeah.
go to work. Then I gotta sit here and remember this too. So it was just a time constraint, and it was the Paul Robeson Theater for Mike on Fire something. And I remember I had friends in Brooklyn who I was moving around with.
I was gonna say, Paul Robeson, you from Brooklyn?
I lived in East New York for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from the Stars. So you said
Cool.
Paul Robeson. I was like, oh, I know Robeson.
Yeah. So they had a little show there, and my friend actually wanted to be in it. But when they asked him to put the money up to schedule his spot, he didn't do it. So I said, well, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, so then I put in for it, and I remember I just went up there and I tried, and even if I didn't remember, I just vibed, and I said, fuck it, you know, let me just go with it. And I remember the videos that came up afterwards, like the caption of it was, "You're a true artist," even and I felt like that is the feedback that I wanted, because it doesn't mean you memorized all of this. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean how many of these bars are in your head. Like, but are you an artist? Like, do you love this when you get up there?
Yeah.
And then they gave me a feature the next time, so I got to do it again, and I got more time.
See?
And that's when I started really flowing, because I realized that if I put my heart in this, if I just love it, it's that much better.
No, I definitely agree. So I know you're a writer, so that means you don't freestyle, or like, just.
I don't really. I'm not a freestyler. You know what I mean? Like, if it's the right beat and it's smooth and it's soft, then I could flow with it, because it gives me more time. But I'm not gonna be on the street corner rah rah rah. You know what I mean?
No,
And sometimes it feels like, dance monkey, like just with some bars. And it's just like, you give me a piece of paper, I'll do something real nice for you in 5 minutes. Like, So
I mean, I know different artists that are freestyles
and they're amazing at it.
So it really depends on the person you are. Like,
and I don't like to go into, because there's some people who really do that. And they're really nice at that. So for me to sit here and be like, I freestyle and I'm trash, that's disrespectful to what they do. Because I wouldn't consider them writers.
You have any you working on an EP, working on an album?
Yes. And that's my baby. And technically it's done.
Okay.
Like, the songs are put together.
All right.
And Goodfellas is my favorite movie. Okay. So I got my skits in it and everything.
Too, yeah.
Oh, that's my movie. That's like my life.
Yeah.
So
Classic.
But as I got into the music, I'm a writer. So what was most important for me was what was the words, you know? And then as an artist was the expression. So after I started performing and stuff, I get used to how I want to say it.
Okay.
But as I got into levels of this, I'm actually new at this, you know?
Okay.
I just started a few years ago hearing myself. So then I started understanding everybody else's roles in this. And now, really, for me, this part of it is understanding the engineer and the magic that they do to a track to make it sound like what it needs to sound like, you know? So that's the level I am now. So I work with a lot of people at home. Slick Mix, shout out to you. He's amazing. Like, I like people who don't take my track and like change my voice because you need me to sound like this, but there's something different that Slick, particularly, who I've fallen in love with, that he's done to my music, where he's done things to the music to add this other layer of it that gives it this fullness that makes it more of a partnership than just me yelling over a track.
Wow. So we can expect that soon.
Yeah, I'm aiming for my birthday. My birthday is April 1st. So I've never really had a birthday party. I'm not a birthday girl. Like, you won't see me posting my birthday like countdown and nothing like that. It's just not me. I'm not like that. But I do hope to have a project, and then also have an arena or a venue where I can bring people who I really love and who love me to enjoy, and have it not be a $30 ticket and $30 drinks. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be an experience. I think it's an entire package, not just me showing out for people and me giving them something. I want them to experience it with me.
Okay. Sounds great, man. I had that one to say too.
You invited, don't worry.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
We there anyway, so that's all
Yeah,
after
like
party,
she ain't gonna
like,
get we there.
we in the building, that's it.
Don't worry, it's gonna be free at the door anyway. You can't crash much.
So tell us about your singles, Going for Good and what they mad for. What is that about? Tell me, how did that start? The titles, like, give me some insight.
So, Going for Good is actually the second song I ever recorded in my life.
Okay.
So these two are, Going for Good is on Wale's Bad track, and What They Mad For is on Dr. Dre's Still, because I do shows sometimes, and people tell me, like, it's too hip-hop or it sounds dated. And I say, well, yeah, I mean, long live hip-hop. I like to do original shit. Like,
Yeah, no,
like I
seriously.
don't, some things don't need to change. It's me on it, but I think in my head of if Dre was to hear the Still, he'd be like, nah, that's mean. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to change it that much. Like, just be mean on the shit that I already made. Like, this exists already.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do there. And on the Bad, it's me singing and rhyming.
Okay.
So a lot of people too, because of what this all looks like, they don't understand when I get so thorough.
Yeah.
You know, and you can Google Central Falls and you know who I am, because I am Central Falls. But the singing gives them a little more, you know, it eases them into it. And I just started hearing my singing voice, because I don't consider myself a singer, but with the right mood and at the right tone, with me learning, because I think singing is a talent and it's a learned talent, I get better on songs. And I just love those, because those are that's my second and my third song. What They Mad For is a song that I came into this studio to record the day that they pulled me into their full out project for the Sentinels. So that's the song I recorded then.
Oh, cool.
All right,
So you got some history in the studio.
yeah,
do.
she has to stay with it. All right, so we actually have to get ready to get out of here. Before we do that, you want to give a shout out to anyone and also let them know your social media information?
Well, I am President Ella everywhere. I'm easy to find. And shout out to yourselves, YV Magazine and The Matrix Studios. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in and just everybody who shows me love. If you follow me, I follow back. That's what I do. Everybody, the world. That's how I feel.
All right, I got there's
Everybody,
one more
the
question before we go.
I'm the
One more
president.
question, man. You have clothes out? You gonna do product soon? Like you have? I like
Oh,
the shirt. Look,
thank you.
represent.
I always think between this and the hat that I got. No, I work for Saks Fifth Avenue during the day. I am very much into fashion. I'm in fashion.
Yeah, definitely check her pictures out.
My mother is a seamstress, so when the day comes for that to come, I make clothes. I know how to make clothes. I do that. That'll come. But right now, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to take your money with right now, and I'm not interested in taking anybody's money.
Yeah.
But eventually, PresidentElla.com, you'll be able to find everything directly from myself.
All right, looking forward to it, man.
That sounds
Thank you
good.
so much for being on our show. We
Thank
actually
you for
listening
having
to one of your songs right now on our way out. Thank you for tuning in.
Let's
This is
go.
YV Magazine, DJ Lover, and see y'all soon.
Come on, yeah. Come on, isn't bad that I'd rather make love, laying it forever. If not, I don't give a fuck, you know you mad.